Dennis Miller is probably best known today as Bill O'Reilly's butt buddy and crazy conservative. But a lot of people don't know that he actually used to make sense on some issues. He used to be a fairly liberal and kind of funny comedian. So I wanted to do a throwback clip here. This is Dennis Miller ranting about the issue of free speech in the early 2000s before he lost his mind.
Once hotbeds of free speech, college campuses across the country have engaged in an arms race to see who can craft the most restrictive speech code. Years of political correctness, binge drinking, and dropping Bing cherries out of your ass into a shot glass have bred a backlash now where anyone who dares to stray outside the conventional school of wisdom in college is ostracized, slapped with the mark of Cain, and worst of all, made to forfeit their student activity fee discount to see Dave Matthews Jam, and more importantly, Inspire during spring fling on the quad. You know, whatever happened to the notion that college was a place where the best minds in the nation vigorously debated all sides of an issue while the rest of us went back to the dorm and tried to get laid? Usually by ourselves. You know, I have no problem. I have no problem with people who respond to what they don't agree with. I enjoy the drama of a toppled podium and the sound of microphone feedback as much as the next guy. What I do have a problem with are the people who fail to see the glaring hypocrisy of screaming the word "shut up" into a bullhorn. Why should even the most repugnant ideas receive the same freedom of expression as more accepted ones? Because the American system is less a free marketplace of ideas than it is a playground of free ideas. And the best way to dispense with the unpopular ideas is to let them roam free on the playground so they can have their asses kicked up and down the jungle gym by the cool ideas. You know, the ability to be critical of our government is what makes this country great. We need to let those who repulse us have their say alongside those whose speeches make us rise to our feet in applause. How else will the shiny pearl of wisdom stick out against the black velvet of stupidity? It's better to just let the Ku Klux Klan march through your town than it is to waste your time and money trying to stop them. Instead of challenging their right to free speech, use your energy to point out to your children the irony of the fat guys and the pointing hats and the pea-stained bed sheets, spouting forth all sorts of monosyllabic eugenic claptrap, and all the while claiming to be the master race.
That was a very, very well done rant. And again, when it comes to Dennis Miller, it's such a shame because today he's become a caricature. All he does is uses absurdly big words that nobody understands, and he goes on O'Reilly and he just takes idiotic concepts and wraps them in big words and throws them out at the audience, and they go, "Oh, he must be smart. He said a word I don't understand." But of course, behind his words, it's like a call to endless war or to fucking cut all social safety net programs. So he became incredibly conservative later on. But this was like right before his big transition. Okay, it was like 9/11 and then like the 3 or 4 years after 9/11 where he slowly but surely became more and more conservative. But that he made all fantastic points there, man. And look, on the issue of free speech, you guys already know my position on it, but I always feel like I need to repeat it and talk about it more because it appears to me like, unfortunately, liberals and conservatives fall into the same trap over and over and over where they scream and yelp and bitch and moan about freedom of speech when it's one of their people that gets in trouble, but when it's one of the other people that gets in trouble on the other team, then all of a sudden it's like, this isn't a free speech issue, bro. No, this one's not a free speech issue. So look, what's the reality? Yes, I get it, and anybody who understands the Constitution and the government gets it, that when we talk about free speech, of course we're talking about government censorship, that the government can't come in and say, hey, you be quiet, or throw you in jail if you say something unpopular. And that right does not extend as far as the private sector where, you know, it's not like you have a protection from your boss firing you if you say something. You see what I'm saying? That's not what free speech is. Your boss is still allowed to fire you if you say something that he doesn't like or that portrays what he views, portrays, or she views, portrays the company in a bad way. Okay, but here's my take on it. I kind of wish that we abided more by that. I kind of wish that we did kind of go after bosses for firing people for saying stuff that's unpopular. So, for example, remember when Martin Bashir got fired? Now, he gave this weird long rant about how, you know, maybe somebody should shit in Sarah Palin's mouth. And then he ended up apologizing and getting fired. He got canned in the end. Okay? Now, look, I honestly said I think he went too far in his rant, but I didn't think he should get fired. Why? Because whatever, man, whatever. Sometimes people go too far. It happens. So while conservatives were screaming for his head on a chopping block then, they shouldn't have. They should have said, you know what, fuck it, let him stay. And then let's just beat him with our ideas. I mean, that's the whole idea, is you beat them with your ideas. But then also for the liberals, we should have, when Phil Robertson got suspended, we should have said, you know what, man? It's okay. He's a fucking vitriolic, racist, homophobic asshole, but he's got a show about ducks. By all means, do your dumbass duck show, and we'll all watch it knowing you're a bigot, right? You don't need to censor them, because then that makes them more powerful. It makes their base rise up more, and they get more power. Like, oh, now there's an injustice done against us now. So now the conversation has shifted from, this guy's a bigot, to, hey, don't censor. You see what I'm saying? You don't switch that conversation. Don't fall into that trap. By the same token, I know it's an uncomfortable thing, and a lot of my good progressive friends disagreed with me on this one, but Anthony Cumia. Okay, Anthony Cumia from Opie and Anthony. He went on one of the most insanely racist Twitter tirades after he allegedly got assaulted by somebody, after he took a picture of somebody by accident, he claims, and then the black community, violence in the black community, and this and that. They're savages, they're animals, speaking in very broad terms, and honestly, to my reading of it, indicting all black people, right? It was very, very clear from the reading to me. Now, he, of course, has disagreed and backpedaled and this and that. But look, dude, it doesn't matter. We don't even need to have the conversation because guess what? Even though I really disagree with your opinions, I didn't want you to get fired, you know? And again, I get it. XM Radio, they have the right. Sirius XM has the right to fire him because that's not what free speech is. You don't have a right to your radio job, right? But I'm just saying I wish we lived in a society where people kind of took the principle of freedom of speech and applied it across the board. I'll give you one more example. Bill Maher in 2001, when he made that comment after 9/11 where he said, the terrorists are evil people, they're bad people, they're savages, but they're not cowards. They stuck with their mission, they flew the plane into the building. Well, that was too nuanced an opinion at the time, and everybody thought, oh, he likes terrorists. So his ass was fired. His ratings went up, but his ass was fired. So that shouldn't have happened either. I mean, whenever we censor debate and shut people up, no matter how stupid their opinions are now, Bill Maher, in my opinion, that was spot on. But I disagree with Anthony Cumia. I disagree with Phil Robertson. But either way, I don't want to censor any of these people, man. And it all comes back to this Voltaire quote and this idea that if you don't believe in freedom of speech for the people who you disagree with the most, you don't believe in it at all. So this is a rare case where I look at what Dennis Miller said, and he's right. I mean, if the Supreme Court can say, and they did, that, you know what, this is the United States of America. The KKK has a right to march through the middle of a predominantly Jewish town. They said that. They came to that conclusion, right? That was their ruling. If they can do that, we can understand the virtue of free speech. Understand that in that case, you know who defended the KKK? The ACLU. The progressive liberal organization. They're not. They just care about civil liberties. So what was their argument? They said, look, we hate everything about these people. We think they're morons. Look at these guys. They're white supremacists. But I don't want to censor them. You got to let them march through. So that's just how much we're supposed to believe in freedom of speech, and we should abide by it.